What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? And this is episode 5 of What Comic Books Have Taught Me, featuring Daredevil. I'm not gonna lie, guys, recently I'm starting to, really grow to liking Daredevil, specifically because of the new Daredevil show. I was always a big fan of Charlie Cox's Daredevil Netflix series. I believe it came out back in 2019, 2015, somewhere around that time. Way before you know, way before Fox sold their X-Men rights to Disney, as well as Fantastic Four rights to Disney. But at first, I was never really a big Daredevil guy. I've always knew who he was. I've always knew he was part of, like, the street tier level kind of comic book characters. I've always known his runnings with Spider-Man. I've always had an idea of the Defenders with Luke Cage and Doctor Strange and all of them. But I never actually, like, really dive in deep into the character like that until I saw the Netflix, series with Charlie Cox, which I freaking loved, by the way. That whole Netflix series universe with the Punisher, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones. He eventually turned to a Defenders superhero team up. Luke Cage, of course. I've always liked it. If it's had its up and downs. It's had its cringy moments. It's had its the difference between television and the big screen moments. But overall, Daredevil Netflix season 1 through 3 with some moments of the Netflix The Defenders. I've always enjoyed the Daredevil character, Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, being my favorite character out the group, and being my favorite Marvel TV series of all time. Of course, you have your Lokis, you have your WandaVisions, you have your even X-Men 97s, but to me, Daredevil's Netflix series season 1, 2, 3, it's always been the one for me. And also, it actually really kickstarted my whole, as I said earlier, liking of Daredevil. But I didn't really start getting into his comic books until around the same time I started my comic book journey. But Daredevil was really a much more later character that I got into comic book wise. And then once I got into his comic books, he's just been up there for me in my honorable mentions. But I am gonna say, now that I've been keeping up with Daredevil Born Again, he's really going up there as arguable in my top 10. I just don't know exactly who I will move out just yet. I will make an update video of my top 10 favorite comic book characters of all time. If you haven't checked that video out yet, I'll leave it down below. But I don't know, man. It's just something about Daredevil's story and Daredevil's overall character I'm really feeling right now. But all that being aside, here are 3 things that the Daredevil character has taught me. Starting with number 1, the truth isn't good enough. Sometimes it's what you can prove and persuade. Now, with Matt Murdock being a lawyer in the Marvel Universe, with Matt Murdock being, sometimes he's a struggling lawyer. Some stories he's actually a more successful lawyer. He's well known across Hell's Kitchen, New York City. Sometimes when you're dealing with criminal minds like Mayor Fisk, when you're dealing with criminal minds like Hammerhead, when you're dealing with criminal minds like Tombstone, when you're dealing with just crime in general, similar like to Gotham City, there's going to be a lot of hands in the pot. There's going to be a lot of treachery going on. There's going to be a lot of power moves going on, and which I really appreciate. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people compare that of Daredevil to like Batman, which is probably one of the reasons why I'm liking him a lot more. But the big difference between Bruce Wayne's Batman and Matt Murdock's Daredevil is that Daredevil's beliefs come from more of his religion side of things, of him being a Catholic, him growing up Catholic, him not more so of treating life precious, like Bruce Wayne's no kill rule. He's more so of, because of his faith is the reason why he has a no kill rule, because killing is wrong, killing is a sin, etc., etc. So when it comes to him being a force for truth, he always believes in the system. He always believes in the process of, you're going to get your comeuppance. You have to face the consequences when you commit that sin. He's really, really strong suited in that kind of belief. But because of that belief, it's also one of the reasons why he gets in trouble. It's also one of the reasons why he fucks up, which I really appreciate that Daredevil Born Again is really trying to pound that kind of belief home. They did it in a Netflix in the original Daredevil Netflix series, especially during season 2. But I can see Born Again really tapping into that type of storytelling when it comes to Matt Murdock and Daredevil intertwined. So, but what I mean by what you can prove and persuade is that if we take it into a real life scenario, there's a lot of things in the media, there's a lot of things in politics, even history and religion for that matter, to where sometimes the truth isn't exactly what people want to hear. Sometimes it's what you can prove and what you can persuade to the people. It may not be true. It might not even be 50% true. It may not even be 100% true. But the simple fact that you're able to persuade them using your voice, your ideas, or even things that you can prove, like I said earlier, sometimes they don't care if it's true or not. It's just something, a lot of us as human beings, we really react. There's always going to be moments where we act off of emotion, because we are emotional creatures. We are social creatures. Some of us just want to hang with the crowd. It's always going to be that small percentage to where it's going to stand out. But that's pretty much what I mean by the first one. The second one that a Daredevil character taught me is, God gives his toughest challenges to his strongest angels. And I've always believed in that kind of mindset and that kind of idea. But Daredevil is like the complete package in fiction that I've seen so far that really pounds that truth home. There's a line in Daredevil season 3 that Matt Murdock says, and I won't say any spoilers, that pushes him to this mindset. But there's a line that he says in Daredevil Netflix series season 3. He says, "I'd rather die as the devil than live as Matt Murdock." And when you're able to push a character to a point to where they rather die as the character they created versus the character they were actually born in, that says a lot. And if you want to know exactly what I mean, please go back and watch that whole entire series, bro. You don't even have to watch all of Iron Fist and Luke Cage. You can just watch Daredevil season 1 through 3, and actually Daredevil season 1, 2, and watch the Defenders, and then watch Daredevil season 3, because Defenders, I think it's only like 6 episodes, so you can really wing that within a week. But yeah, God gives his toughest challenges to his strongest angels. That is pretty much pick a lane when it comes to a real life scenario. There's so many things in life that a lot of people allow it to push them over the edge, regardless if they like it or not. There's a lot of things that people allow it to get to them emotionally, spiritually, um, physically, etc., even mentally speaking. They forget that there are some times they're being tested. And I'm not trying to push. You know what? Yes, I am trying to push, because at this point, if you don't believe in God, then I don't know what to tell you. That goes for any religion. That goes for spirituality. Like, if you don't believe in some type of higher power, I don't know what to tell you, dog. But when it comes to conflicts, and this is something that I'm actually trying to get myself to learn, and taking it day by day, taking case by case basis. But we have to sometimes realize that the toughest things in our lives are not always going to be the end all be all. The toughest things are sometimes an opportunity for growth. The toughest things are sometimes an opportunity to become better. And that's really all we can do here on this planet, other than procreate, is to evolve and get better, for the better. If you get better for the worse, then nature is going to balance it out some way somehow. The last thing that I would say that the Daredevil character has taught me is your biggest weakness can be your strongest power. When it comes to Matt Murdock, of course, his biggest weakness is he's blind. He's a blind lawyer. You know, he's the Daredevil. You know, justice is blind. That kind of propaganda message. But it's because he's blind is what makes him so powerful. When one senses is shut off completely, your other senses, amplify. And it's really possible for that to even do that in real life. Obviously, not to the point of Daredevil, because, he's able to hear freaking things that are miles away. And I believe there's some comic books to where he can, like, hear somebody's muscle tense up. So he's able to dodge shit, like some type of ultra instinct type of ability. But yeah, like when somebody is deaf in real life, they learn to use sign language. They learn to read lips. They learn to pretty much read people before they even sign anything or say anything. The same thing when you have a blind person, they're able to listen better than the average person. They're able to pretty much feel things better than the average person. And don't take my word for it, because take it with a grain of salt, because again, everybody's different. It's always a case-by-case basis. But that's pretty much all I have for you today when it comes to Daredevil. I'll go through the list again. The truth isn't always good enough. Sometimes it's what you can prove and persuade. God gives his toughest challenges to his strongest angels, and your biggest weakness can be your strongest power. Hey man, go check out Daredevil, bro. Hell breaks loose. Hell to Pay, and of course his most famous one, Daredevil, Mayor Fisk. Go pick it up, bro, because I don't know, he might be top 10 for me. I just gotta figure out who I'm gonna leave out. If I change my top 10 characters of all time, I'll let you guys know. Also, I have a really big idea for a video coming up, which I will not tell you yet. It will be a surprise, but I am going to tell you I still am currently working on other ChatGPT interviews. Just give it a little time, guys. A lot more content coming the channel's way. Keep supporting, keep checking it out, keep sharing. I see those. Y'all take it easy.